We are back with MLB The Show 20's ABC series with the letter V and the letter W. If you want a free PSN, stay tuned. I'm about to tell you how to get it. Yo YouTube, what is going on? YeYo here, bringing you another MLB The Show 20 video. This time we're bringing back our ABC series. We are almost done. Obviously with letter V and W, we're gonna plug them in together because what we're gonna be doing is a little bit different than something we've ever done. We've never done this. So letter V is gonna be for a voucher. I will be giving a voucher, a $10 PSN voucher. As you know, there's a special for MLB The Show 20 for $10. This is a free game basically. So I will be putting just the code throughout the entire video. So for example, that's going to be the first one, and so on and so forth. So stay tuned, write it down, do it under PlayStation, whatever works for you. Best of luck. And yeah, that's going to be the letter V for the voucher. Now letter W is going to be for the wish list. I have a wish list and it's 21 things that I would like to see for MLB The Show 21. Had to keep it in theme, and I think we did. So we're gonna be going over all of them in just a second. We're probably just gonna be doing like batting practice as I talk about it. So I won't have my camera on because I have to read a couple of my notes. My batting practice is probably gonna be bad, but I gotta work on my PS5 timing anyways. So I guess a win-win situation. You don't get to see my face, and I get to get better at hitting, hopefully. Anyways, before we jump into all of this, I have no idea how long this video is going to be. I hope it's not too long, but make sure you're hitting that thumbs up and subscribing to the channel if you haven't done so already, or if you're new. Also, make sure to click on that notification bell to get notified every time we upload a video. Before we jump into all of that, again, there's not going to be an order. None of this is in order. I think the last couple of things in my list are gonna be kind of like my favorite ones, so I'm gonna leave that towards the end, and I think the ones that can have, I guess, the biggest impact, if you will. So that's gonna be towards the end, but there's a lot of things. This doesn't mean anything bad about MLB The Show. This MLB The Show 20, I've actually enjoyed it more than 19, more than 18. I really enjoyed back in 17, so it's been a few years since I've really enjoyed this game. I mean, everyone is just wanting to get even better product. There's gonna be a lot of things that is not necessarily putting down what MLB The Show 20 brought for us this year, but just trying to make improvements and some areas that I would like to get better, or just add new things to the game that I think it's gonna make it better. So I did wanted to clarify that I'm not taking any shots or anything like that. These are just things from me that I would like to see, and I think it would be good for the game and the community. Now we can start. So here we're gonna go ahead and start with number one, and it's actually with the timing windows. As you can see, they made the addition this year, and I think it was a great addition of more feedback. You got the early, you got the just early, just late, all that stuff with colors. One of the things I think is like too late or too early should not have any kind of contact at all with any pitch. So for example, a lot of people are struggling because, I mean, the foul tips are just out of control. You cannot seem to strike anybody out. Obviously with the bunt cheesing, that helps as well, some of the players. But if you're swinging too early or too late, I feel like it doesn't matter where the pitch is at, you should not make contact. So for example, I'm going to go ahead and swing early, and you'll see how it is. It's going to say too early. If it's too early, it shouldn't be even a foul tip. And we've seen in a lot of gameplay, a lot of games where those are actually foul balls. I think that will raise the strikeout ratio a little bit higher, and I think it needs to be, especially on the lower difficulties, like for example all-star, veteran. So that will kind of like make it easier to strike out and make it kind of like more realistic. There's no reason why somebody should be swinging too early or too late and get a foul tip on it, make contact, not at all. Number two, we got PCI sensitivity. We know that in MLB The Show 20, they added a lot of customizations to the PCI, which is actually very cool. You can actually fade the outer half or the inner half, or you have diamonds and circles. As you can see, we only have the diamonds. You have different colors, different transparency from like 100% all the way down. So One thing that I would like to see if they can add to it is kind of like a PCI sensitivity. For those that play something like Call of Duty, you'll know that you have sensitivity from 1 to now I think it's like 15. It would be cool to see how that would work. I feel like some people may need some help to have the sensitivity a little bit faster. Other people may actually be better if it's slower. It may be too sensitive for them. So I think PCI sensitivity would be kind of like a cool little addition to it. Number 3, I feel like consistency in the results when hitting. A lot of the times we see some of these good swings. Late side of good is just not good at all. Like you're better off being late than being on the late side of good. So what you want to be, what I feel like I want to be, is consistency. Let me be consistent, because that will tell me, the hitter, what I need to do, what I need to work on. Do I need to be a little bit earlier? Do I need to be a little bit late? So consistency in those results is going to help us know more about that. A lot of times you square balls up and the ball goes nowhere. Other times you don't put the PCI near the ball and the ball is a no doubt home run. So consistency in the result of the hitting is actually going to be extremely important, if you ask me. Now let's move a little bit to that's a little bit of with the hitting tips. Pitching. We all know that pitching this year has been questionable. It's not the best. I think one good implementation, and this is number 4, would be to have perfect for pitchers. So perfect was added this year for the hitters. Perfect fly ball, liner, or ground ball. Whether they're out or not, that's for the topic for another discussion. I think it goes a little bit with the consistency on it. And talking about perfect, there it is for the hitter. But having a pitcher to having perfect, it would make for such an improvement, because if you're actually putting the input and it's a perfect input, there's no reason why that changeup should hang. Or if you're trying to throw it in the dirt, that pitch should be in the dirt if you're actually having perfect input. So I think perfect input. Now obviously it may not be perfect, kind of like the hitting wise. So sometimes we have hit perfect liners that end up being a line out or an out, and it's gonna happen. But with pitchers, obviously they're gonna be coming to the control and all that. But I think that will be a great addition for pitching. Now, pitchers' energy. I like that we have the energy because we get to choose the pitchers that we want. One thing that I would change is the 50% energy from a starter. I feel like it's in the right direction, but it's too much. And this is topic number 5, pitcher energy. When you have a starter and you bring them in, let's say you pitch 2 innings and your opponent quit because you're winning or whatever the case may be, you're automatically going to lose 50% of that pitcher regardless of what happened. So it's not fair that I lose 50% on a pitcher that I use, let's say 15 pitches, and and somebody else loses 50% on another outing that went 120%, 120 pitches, right? So I think if there can be some kind of middle pack, I guess, like if we have, I don't know, maybe go by pitch counts. If it's somebody that comes from the starting rotation, that's the reason why this was added, because a lot of people are overusing the starters, bringing out of the pen. So let's make it 25% and see how many pitches they had in that game, and then kind of like take them from there. So I think that would be, maybe that would make a little bit more sense, instead of just automatically taking 50 pitches or 50%, and then if that pitcher had 50 pitches, you won't be able to use him for another 4 or 5 games. So maybe 25%, and then depending on how many pitches they had, then that's going to be how much more energy it's going to take. Point number 6, and it's kind of like what we just saw there, defensive urgency. And if you didn't see my latest video, my World Series game video, go check it out and you'll see, and I'm sure if you play the game a lot, you've seen it, but defensive urgency is just not there. A lot of players, even with diamond fielding, especially in the outfield, playing balls off the wall, they just grab the ball, stare at the wall, turn around slowly. Like, you got players running and trying to score. Let's move, especially if they are diamond defenders. If they're like common or bronze, I get it. But the animations for the diamond defenders and gold defenders should be better. There should be more urgency trying to turn the double plays, moving faster. You see a lot of them jogging like that. Maybe it'll be cool if you can control how fast they can go. Sometimes they jog and they don't catch the ball, and if they would have been running at full speed, they would have been able to make the play. So that urgency defensively would be, I feel like, would be a good addition for defense. Now, number 7, and these are kind of like nothing to do with like hitting or pitching per se. It's more with any things in the game. When you jump into ranked seasons, a lot of people, there's a way that you can know if you're gonna be home or if you're gonna be away, right? If you jump into the game, if you didn't know where you're about to find out, if you jump into the game and you start like going up and down in the menu, if there's a little bit of a lag, then you're gonna be the away team. If there's not much lag, you're gonna be the home team. So a lot of people are home hunting, and that makes it for like kind of like an unfair advantage. You're obviously want to be home. Being the home team is gonna be an advantage for the most part. You're gonna be selecting what stadium you're gonna be playing at. And I get that a lot of people play at horrible stadiums with horrible times, and the batter's eye is not the best. Maybe we can do something with the batter's eye to avoid that. But I feel like people should not know when they're going to be home or when they're going to be away when they're just searching for a ranked seasons game. Number 8, we got the rating next to the ranked season. So for example, when you jump into the game, you see on the menu that it has like not on the menu but on the loading screen, it has your opponent's name and record. I think it would be cool to add the rating to it. A lot of times we have to go to MLB or the Show Nation and find out the rating, and I feel like it would be so much easier if it's there, because it's better to know. You want to know if you're gonna lose a lot of points, if you lose, if you're gonna win a lot, if it's worth it, if you're gonna be playing Hall of Fame, if you're gonna be playing on All-Star, depending on all that. And I feel like knowing your opponent's rating, everybody wants to know what their rating is. I think most people should know, or want to know. So I think knowing the rating before the game starts, it'll be a cool addition, like right next to the record. I think that would be a good one. Talking about the ranked seasons game, this is point number 9, the difficulty. I believe, when you start the ranked seasons, you start 700 if you made it to World Series. Below 700, if both opponents are under, if there's one opponent that's under 700, then automatically the game will be on All-Star. So if people are starting at 700 after making World Series, I think it would be cool that Hall of Fame game starts at like 600 to make sure that not even that first game is at All-Star. I think the best way to do it is just universal pitch speeds, or just maybe just changing the PCI size instead of the pitch speeds per se, but maybe have it like All-Star until like the 500 or 600 and then make it into Hall of Fame. But going up, there's a big difference between All-Star, Hall of Fame, and Legend when it comes to pitch speed, and going up and down between 650, 750. It makes it very, very tough, and it goes game by game. Sometimes your opponent may be on the All-Star, and then you have to play All-Star when you were already playing on Hall of Fame. Some people obviously prefer All-Star, other people prefer Hall of Fame, but I think like having the same either pitch speed or extending the Hall of Fame ratio for the games, I think would be a good addition for the ranked seasons. So that was number 9. We're going to number 10. And this is kind of like roster related. We'll get to number 10 or roster wise later as well. But the creative player, there's so much content that I feel like we don't even need the creative player anymore. Obviously, if you try to make this game, and I feel like they try to make this game as realistic as possible, the creative player doesn't make it realistic. Obviously, it's still a video game. The creator player is going to be the best card in the game in whatever position you grind him to, right? So I don't think we need the creative player. You got a lot of these people that are using the creative player as a reliever with a submarine. It just takes the fun out of the game. There's a lot of great cards, a lot of future Hall of Famers and legends that you can use, and it will be fun anyways. For now, I'm using my cap at my bench anyways, because there are great cards, and it's actually for a lot of free cards that are very good. We don't need the cap anymore. For me, let's just go ahead and move on from the cap. Number 12, higher level of BR. We have the battle royale, obviously 12-0. It's an all-star. It's kind of like, it's not a competitive scene per se because it's all-star, so it's not like necessary. Obviously the better players are going to do better, but I feel like if we can have battle royale but in Hall of Fame, I think it would be a good addition. Making it Hall of Fame and with like better rewards, it would limit, and you know, everybody was going 12-0, and then you have so many cards of the 12-0 that are good, and the content is so packed that there's gonna be cards that you can add for just the 12-0 in Hall of Fame or maybe Legend, and make those cards even more special. So I think having a BR for Hall of Fame or Legend, I think at a higher difficulty, I think it will be cool. A lot of people like BR just because it's all-star, but maybe we can make it a little bit more competitive for some other players by having it the difficulty a little bit higher. Number 13, and talking about BR, one great addition that was added was the redraft before jumping into the game. Before, back in like 17 and 18, in BR you would just have to play a game or jump into the game and quit if you didn't like your team. So now this year what they did was that they added the reset draft. I think sometimes, like, I don't know, I find myself drafting a lot because I don't like the team. So sometimes I know I'm not gonna like the team after 2 or 3 picks. So I think it would be good for me to just go ahead and redraft before ending the draft. I have to pick 25 players. Let me redraft during the middle of the draft. I think that will be a great addition as well. Speed it up, not waste much time drafting cards that, or you know, a team that I know I'm not going to be playing with. I already know I lost my stubs. Go ahead, give me my pack and let me redraft again. I think that will make it easier and faster by having the redraft from the first pick if you want. Number 14, and it's kind of going back to the competitive side of things. I think we know other games that have like, kind of like a weekend league. I think it would be good to have like a little bit of a tournament or the weekend league in MLB The Show. It doesn't necessarily have to be crazy amount of like prizes or anything like that. Maybe some rewards, XP, stubs, packs. It doesn't have to be real money. It doesn't have to be $15,000. If it is, it would be better. But it will be cool to have kind of like a weekend league and have that competitive side. You know, pay attention to that competitive side because there's a lot of people that love competitive MLB The Show. I myself have ran a couple tournaments with some of the best players in the world, and it's always fun. It's always fun to see these players go at it at the high difficulties on the, you know, when the lights are on. So having that weekend league, I think it would add and it would increase kind of interest in a lot of these players, especially later in the year when people start losing interest, when other games start coming out. I think that would be a good addition as well. Now we're number 15. We're almost done. And going back to, it's kind of like a faster way of doing it with the BR that I was talking about. Same thing with Conquest. Sometimes when you're doing the Conquest, especially the US map, and you have so many millions of fans, it would be good if we can just go ahead and have them select and simulate the games automatically, because nobody's playing the simulated games. So maybe you can pick a region where you would like for the game to simulate until, or something like that, just to make the Conquest a little bit faster. Obviously, we've been getting a lot of prizes in Conquest, which is a great thing. But maybe something where you can select, I wanted to simulate all the way onto here, and just go ahead and do it like that. I think it will make Conquest a little bit faster. Number 16, we got a stub caps. Like, we know that especially now with the Chipper Jones that came out, there was a little bit of people weren't happy because some people can't go 12-0, but they have the stubs to buy. But then you cannot put an offer for more than 1 million stubs, and then people cannot have more than 5 million stubs. So it's like that has to either come up or make it easier to attain that. Something like Chipper Jones, maybe if we can have like a BR pack, yeah, BR rewards that go, maybe you buy the pack for 1 million stubs, you can have it. Or increasing the stub cap, increasing that, maybe instead of 1 million, make it 2 million, and instead of the max being 5 million, you can have 7.5 million, something like that, to give more cushion for those people that cannot obtain those cards that way. And I'm just putting the Chipper Jones example because it's the most recent one. Willie Mays is kind of like in the same boat. He's a World Series reward. Not a lot of people can make, or not everybody can make World Series. Then, you know, you put an order in 1 million stubs, and it takes, you know, 600 orders to sell before you can get yours. So maybe increasing it may help with that a little bit. Well, look at very late. That's what I was talking about. Sometimes you're on the late side of good, and it's actually a pop-up. Anyways, that was 16. Number 17, events. Once you lose the event, a lot of the times, if you have to start the event again, you have to redo your lineup. I think it would be a great addition if the lineup would be saved. That way you just jump in, you don't have to redo the lineup. If you're grinding some prestige cards, having the lineup saved, it just for me, I'm looking at things where it's gonna be easier and faster, and this event, saving the event lineup, would be another one of those. So just I finished my event, or I lost my 2 games, I'm hopping, I just got to create another lineup. I don't want to have to create the lineup again, because it can take, you already met the overall goal, or whatever. So just go ahead and save the event lineup. I think that will be good. Talking about events, a lot of people, number 18, a lot of people play events to grind that prestige stats and stuff like that. If I hit a home run and my opponent quit while the ball is in the air, there should be something, I don't know if it can be done, but there should be something that should count towards my player stats, because I hit the home run, I had this good swing, I already got rewarded, but they quit before the run comes in. You lose that, you lose the at bat, you lose the home run, the hit, the RBI. So making that into somehow making it count, it would be good. So that's number 18. Number 19, going back to ranked seasons. Sometimes if you have been on my stream, you've seen that every time I jump into a ranked seasons game, there's a friendly quit. And I have to say, we know about the friendly quit karma. It's a real thing. It's a real thing, whether you agree or not, it's real. So just remove friendly quit. Let's go ahead and play. If you jump into a ranked seasons game, that means you're ready to play. Remove friendly quit. We don't need that. Let's just go ahead and play. If you don't want to play, then quit. I'll take my free dub. But I don't think friendly quit should be in the game any longer, because it just adds more. You have more control over it, and if you jump into the game, that means you were ready to play. Go ahead and play your game. No need for friendly quitting. That was number 19. We're going to the last 2, and these last 2 are my favorite. Number 20, if there can be kind of like an extra mode, we know that they added the March to October mode this year. One mode that I would like to see is kind of like a 2v2 or 3v3, where you can just swap. So for example, me and my buddy are gonna play 2 other people, and we're gonna be alternating hitters, and we can alternate innings for pitching. So having that multiplayer thing, it will be kind of like cool. If it can be kind of like a BR thing, it will be nice. It can be just for friendlies, but I think like if there's packs or stubs or something involved for winners, it will make it even better. So I do think the 2v2 or 3v3 online would make it very good. And last but definitely not least, we're still waiting, obviously, for the cover. We don't know who the cover is. We don't know who some of the new legends are going to be for next year. But we know with the cross-platform in 21, we're expecting big names. And MLB The Show 21, this is the number 21 wish list. And I want Clemente. Give me Roberto Clemente. Yes, I'm biased. Listen, I won't deny it, but a lot of people would love that Clemente anyways. Clemente will be a great addition to the card, to the game. That card would be insane anyways. But not only Clemente, obviously there's some names that I would love. I would love Pedro Martinez. Give me the Barry Bonds, the Sammy Sosa, all the steroids guys. There's still a lot of players that can be added that are very good. But let me know down in the comment section below, what are some of the players that you would like to see the most as new legends. But for me, number 1, it's going to be Clemente. Number 2 is probably going to be Pedro Martinez. If I get to choose a hitter and a pitcher, those will be my first 2. But let me know what are yours down on the comment section below. Now that will do it for me. 21 things that I would like to see. I hope you were paying attention also to the voucher that was being put up somewhere in the video throughout. Hope you win, and by you I mean whoever you are. Hope you win. Again, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. This is YeYo. Check it on the next one. I'm out.